Hey, meanwhile, this shutdown, it continues in Washington, and President Trump making it very clear this morning he won't back down. Check out this tweet. Have the Democrats finally realized that we desperately need border security and a wall on the southern border? Need to stop drugs, human trafficking, gang members, and criminals from coming into our country. Do the Dems realize that most of the people not getting paid are Democrats? But as Congress returns to session, there appears to be no deal in sight. The question is, who will blink first? I want to bring in Brad Blakeman and Dan Mitchell on this. Brad, both sides have dug in pretty good here. Both of them testing the political winds, although I don't think Trump cares about the polls as much as perhaps Dems do, but a lot of blame game to go around.
There's no doubt about it, but the president must stick to his principles. I see this as a read my lips moment. I remember when President George H.W. Bush, then a candidate for president, stood at his convention and said, read my lips, no new taxes. He reneged on that pledge, albeit in good faith, and got slammed for it, not reelected. President Trump made a fundamental promise. Matter of fact, his slogan is promises made, promises kept. This is a promise that must be kept by the president, not because he wants to, because the country needs border security. They need it now.
Dan, is this the place for the president to make this sort of a stand?
I agree that it probably is his read my lips moment. Now, I had wished he had picked something else to fight about, such as controlling the growth of government spending. But politically, Trump has sort of a core level of support. Those people are very animated by this issue. I don't think they understand that there are more illegal visa overstays than there are people coming across the southern border. But nonetheless, they focus on this. Trump has yet in 2 years to deliver for them, so I think he does feel pressure to hold out on this, and we'll see what happens.
You know, of course, Brad, I think people understand the visa part, but they also know about the borders and all the other things that come along with it. It's one thing for an engineering student from India to overstay their visa. It's another for somebody from a drug cartel to bring in fentanyl that might kill some kid in Des Moines, Iowa, 2 months from now.
That's right. We've had porous borders since our founding. It has damaged our country. We now have tens of millions of illegals in this country. More are coming. We have our first allegiance is to American citizens, and we have to provide them a safe environment. We have enough to do in caring for our own people. That's not to say that we shouldn't have legal immigration. Of course we should. We have jobs here. We have the need for legal immigration, but it's got to be done pursuant to rules. And the president is quite right. And he's not intransient. He's actually said in the last couple of days, look, I'm at $5 billion, you're at 1.3, make an offer. So I think that if the Democrats act in good faith, they will solve this quicker than they think, but they're not going to solve it by not coming back with an offer that can be made.
Dan, let's talk about the economic ramifications. You're one of the ultimate number crunchers. Not just this government shutdown, but the idea of the sort of grinding gridlock, investigations, instead of deal making. What could we see with respect to our economic hit next year?
Well, first of all, I'll say that government shutdowns don't hurt the economy for the simple reason that government spending isn't good for the economy. Every dollar the government spends, it has to divert from the productive sector of our economy, either via taxes or borrowing. So the notion that, oh, my goodness, the government's not spending money, that to me is the silver lining of the shutdown. Now, it's obviously not the right long-run way to save money. Now, what about next year with gridlock? I love gridlock. That's what our founding fathers deliberately created and wanted when they set up a separation of power system. I would much rather have gridlock than have Republicans and Democrats coming together to agree on a pork-filled transportation bill or on some special interest cronyist bailout program or something like that. It's better for politicians to do nothing than for them to do the wrong thing.
Brad, it looks like the lowest hanging fruit might be one of those pork-filled transportation deals, though. I don't have a lot of hope of a lot getting done, unfortunately, because of the vitriolic nature that I'm hearing so far since the Dems took the House. But if it is something like that, I think Dan is right. We're talking about a lot of spending of money, ostensibly maybe to in their minds, to spark the economy. I'll give you the last word real quick, please.
I agree, and I think the next 2 years are going to tell the tale. If the president caves, I think the Democrats will run roughshod. On the other hand, if the president sticks to his principles, he'll get a deal which will mean better deals for the American people with even divided government going forward.